Really excited about a guest who's now joining us in the studio. Griffin, you want to share the trailer for those that haven't seen it yet? For this is courtesy of Anscape. There is a new motion picture that is available right now on Disney Plus and Hulu that I had the chance to watch last week. I'm not sure if you guys have had the chance to watch it yet. If you haven't, you need to. It's really good. And it's really Baltimore as well. It might not be set in Baltimore, but it was filmed in Baltimore, and there's awful lot of Baltimore involved. The film is called They Fight. This is the trailer, again, courtesy of Anscape for They Fight.
Hannigan, I'm sure you are well aware this is your last shot.
Please tell us, what are your plans for your life?
Get my life together. At least try to do some good. Even if you lose, man, you gotta fight back.
You walked him in here. I'm expecting you to help me train him. Coach,
I ain't no damn babysitter.
I know who you are. You got no home, nowhere to go, but this gym keeps calling you.
Slim say you used to be great.
Nobody remembers the corner man, just the fighter.
Ain't got too many places for these kids to go. They're gonna close it like they close everything else.
DC would always compete at the Junior National. I'll make a deal with you. If y'all can see past my mistakes, I promise you I'll give you everything I got. Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in!
If you ain't trying to get it up, what you pursuing for?
Please, can I come home?
You gotta do the work first.
Whatever happened to you, I'm really sorry, Coach.
I'm trying to be a living legend. Pockets
I found my fight again. It's in each and every one of y'all. Let's go out with a bang, Slim.
Young amateur fighters are stepping into the ring today, displaying pure heart and hustle.
Come on, man, move your feet. Yeah. It's time to lock in.
Yes, Coach.
Let's get it. Come on.
Yeah, born king working like a slave. From the dungeon, always.
Joining us now? Yeah, there we are. Joining us now here in studio, he is the director of They Fight, and he is a Baltimore native. It's a pleasure to welcome in Sheldon Candis, who is with us here on GCR. Sheldon, it's so great to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Yes, sir. So I walk into the studio.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you would expect, right? Like, it's way more of a frat house.
What?
It's way more. Normally, we clean up a little bit. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea.
No, but here's the thing, though. But I wanted to give you your props as I walked in here because I believe that, like, we get sent totems, signs along our journey. And I walked in here and I saw your Sandlot poster.
Dude, this is one of my favorite things. So the Sandlot, I have two sons. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 9-year-old.
Nice.
The Sandlot meant everything to me growing up. Like, I'm a baseball person. Like, I love the Sandlot. And it was so special in their young lives for me to be able to share that with my kids. Like, you never know what from your Americana translates to them, right? Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And and they see things, they're like, hey, nobody's got a screen in front of them. This doesn't make any sense to me. What is this? But they embraced the Sandlot the first time they saw it. Every summer the rule was always we watch it on July 4th. They would start begging me like in May, can we watch it? Can we watch it now? And I happened to connect with David Mickey Evans, who is the writer, the director, and the narrator of the Sandlot years ago when he was around one of the anniversaries. He was coming to Baltimore to do an event. And when James Earl Jones passed away, I said to Griffin, I'm like, dude, you should reach out to I bet he's got some great James Earl Jones stories just from the little bit of time that James Earl Jones. He reached out. We had he had incredible James Earl Jones stories.
Wow.
And then apparently the next day, because I told him, I'm like, I just need to tell you how much this film means to me, to my family. Yeah. He reached back out to Griffin the next day and said, send me your address. I'd like to send you something. And he sent 4 autographed posters made out to myself, Griffin, and one each for each of my 2 sons.
Oh, man.
And so in their rooms at home, they've got them displayed, and it means the world to them, too. So I'm hoping that means we share this like that you also have these romantic feelings for the Sandlot as well.
But no, let's. I mean, you did a very good thing there, where you brought it back to me. But no, I'm coming right back to you, and then everyone listening. So it's very kismet. Did you also have on a Sandlot
I do. I
t-shirt
did.
today?
I didn't even think about that. I am wearing a "You're Killing Me" Smalls T-shirt. I am wearing that today. That is a good point.
You're killing me.
That just happened. That's pure happenstance. That just happened to be the T-shirt that I grabbed out of the closet this morning on the way out.
Oh my gosh!
I just got back from a significant trip to Tanzania recently.
Beautiful.
And I have still not done laundry.
Well,
I have still not had the opportunity.
but I think it's very at the core of They Fight, meaning I've just always been deeply, deeply in love with children in cinema.
Yep.
Like kids on screen, and that's one of the classic films. So for me to walk in here today to have this conversation with you, man, I'm like, that's really, really cool, because so much of us, we share that idea and our experience with cinema as kids growing up. And so, for me, man, They Fight, as I keep saying, is like this Karate Kid narrative punched in the face with a John Hughes coming of age story.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
Sheldon, how did this come about, right? Like, because you use the word kismet, like for someone who's from here, for it all to work, like everything to fall in line the way that it did, for you to have this story to tell, for you to be able to make this film. Can you walk me through the process of how They Fight happened for you?
Yeah, I mean, super thankful for my producer, Jason Michael Berman, who's also Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pikesville guy, absolutely.
Jimothy School kid.
Yep.
And, Jason had produced and made the documentary with Andrew Renzi. So 2017 was the doc of this story. And when I saw the doc they made, I was like, oh my gosh, if this thing can ever be adapted into a movie, there's a really, really wonderful, like, cinematic, because you're not doing a one-to-one, right? You've already experienced the documentary. Now, how do you take that doc and make a film that's inspired by the lives, but then also kind of raise the ante? And I was like, well, I want to make a movie that's like when I was a kid, and I would watch these films, and they would just so deeply inspire me to want to do something, especially within the sports genre. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the first headgear, oversized glove, boxing movie with black boys in it.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah. But not just period. Just
that's really powerful, man.
Cool, man.
And I think that story, it's set in DC.
Mm-hmm.
But the story, like, we all know Coach Mack. Like, we all know the Upton Gym.
Yes,
we
sir.
all know, the path that a lot of young fighters, young black men have taken in this city to try to stay off the streets, to try to stay out of trouble in boxing. So, yes, it's a DC, and it's from a legitimate story out of DC and a real gym and all of that, because you mentioned the documentary. But it feels so similar to so many stories that we have heard of young men and the path that they have attempted to take through boxing here in our own city.
Well, I mean, I was fortunate. So in the journey of making the film, starting out, like, I'm a huge Michael Mann fan. Like, he's one of my favorite filmmakers. And if you know anything about Michael Mann, he's an information hound. Like, he's a research nut. It's all about the specificity of the worlds of the movies he's making. And so for me, I went on a barnstorming tour, and I went into all of these boxing gyms, and, I went in with Coach Waheed in Philly. I got to go into No Excuses in D.C. with Coach Lamont Roach.
Wow.
And then also right here in Baltimore, Upton Boxing Center with Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Josh Powell. Like, Coach Kenny is there, and also Coach Caesar. Like, I walk in this gym, and here's what's interesting about boxing. Most of us who are outside of the world and we're only spectators, we only know boxing through the heavyweight, lightweight, middleweight adults, usually men, and now women's boxing is taking on a thing culturally, but we only know adults. You really don't know the experience of what I call the Saturday morning boxing tournament experience for youth amateurs. And so when I went and got into this world, I said, oh my gosh, we're conditioned in boxing to see someone get hit with a big punch. It's in super slow motion. The next snaps back and sweat flies. You go to a boxing tournament in the youth amateur ranks, you never
It's
see
not
it.
what it looks
It's
like.
not what
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like.
not what it looks like.
It's tactical, right? It's scoring points, and it's just this idea of the beginning stages of what it is to be a boxer. And so I was really thankful that I got to be a fly on the wall to really understand what it is to be and then I would meet kids and I'm like, hey, so how old are you? Well, I'm 10 years old. Well, how long you been boxing? Since I was 4. So meeting kids that have been boxing more than half their living lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
The part where it ends up being filmed in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
When you end up being a part of this project, is that already decided somehow, or is that a you thing where you say, hey, I know where I wanted? Like, how does that part of this happen?
Well, so Andrew Renzi and Michael Minahan, Michael wrote the Washington Post article that the documentary came from. And so they had the connection with Coach Cal. And so Coach Calvin Ford, I literally just walked in there off of Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, of course, Mike made the call, and they embraced me like family. And they're like, so wait a minute, you going to do a movie, but it's about the babies? It's about the boys and the girls in the gym? I was like, yes, sir. That's what I'm here to do is make a film. And all the way through the process, Coach Josh, along with our stunt coordinator, Rick Kane, they literally became like the offensive and defensive coordinator for me in making this film.
So when you had you drawing out a boxing scene, right? Like, and obviously it leads up to this incredible fight. I don't want to give too much away about the film. Yeah. There is an incredible, last fight sequence involving, again, 2 young boys. Yeah. But like, are you actually drawing up the scene yourself? Are you working with the coaches on, hey, what would this look like? Is that something you'd ever done before?
I hadn't done it, and so there are a couple of things there. So when we are so fortunate to discover Anthony B. Jenkins, who plays Peanut, and then Toussaint Francois Baptiste, who plays Quincy, I meet
these young actors, man. They were it's
kids.
unreal.
And,
it's so unreal.
And Tori J. Malone, like those 3 kids. And so when I meet them, I say, listen, you guys are wonderful natural actors. Like, you're not showy. You're not like a stage kid. But you guys have to commit to starting journeys as boxers, meaning there's a boxing boot camp. The only way you get this job is you're going to have to go into Upton with Coach Josh. And every day for more than 1 week, for weeks, you guys are going to start this journey as boxers. And so to me, that's just pulling you closer to how authentic it is. So when you reference the end fight, that makes me feel great as a filmmaker because I honored this world where it wasn't the choreography. No, they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, how it is when watching boxing movies, there are moments you can really feel fight choreography. No, at this point, this is what they call just letting their hands go. Yeah,
they're just go, man. It is an incredible scene. It's an incredible scene. Sheldon Candis is in studio with us. He's the director and one of the writers. They Fight, which is available now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Sheldon, we're going to share a clip in a second. I first just want to talk about Wendell Pierce.
Yes.
Because I could talk about Wendell Pierce forever. He's, to me, one of the greatest actors. Wendell Pierce can do more with his eyes than many actors can do with all of their gifts. Yes. I know that originally someone who I was actually quite close with, the late, great Isaiah Whitlock, was supposed to play this character. Yeah. Watching it now, it's almost impossible for me. Like, I can't fathom this character being played by anyone other than Wendell Pierce. How does that part of this come about? I know there was the casting director from The Wire was involved. Mm-hmm. Was there any part of you that was worried about, like, I don't know if I want too much connection. This is a different thing. I don't want it to just be like, if we're in Baltimore, there's got to be connections to The Wire. Like, did you think about that at all?
Well, here's the thing. So I'm not just saying this because I'm from here. The Wire is the greatest TV show ever.
You're not the only person. It's not a Baltimore thing. I mean, like, I think was it Entertainment Weekly that did that like a few years ago?
Yeah,
we know that.
Here's the thing, though. I'm not coming for Entertainment Weekly, but we're happy you finally caught up to that.
Fair.
Because when the show was on, all the awards it should have gotten, it didn't. And we're well aware of that, right? So it's great that culturally it was caught up to of how wonderful it is. Now, mind you, respectfully, I'll say that to me it's in my all-time top 5. It's my number 1 in my 5. But of course, you got to reference, anything from Breaking Bad to The Sopranos,
sure.
Right? And so with that being said, you mean to tell me I get to be a filmmaker and I get to work with guys from The Wire? Sign me up. So first movie, there were, multiple guys from The Wire.
This was
Love.
Yeah,
my first movie, Love. And so we had the late great Mike K. Williams as Omar.
My God.
He's in, but then the thing I love about him in Love is I put him on the other side of the narrative, and he plays a cop. He plays a detective in Love. And, Clark Johnson is in Love. Remember he worked at the paper in The Wire. And Anwan Glover, who was Slim Charles, is in Love. And so it's just one of those things where I'm just super excited. And so now when we come to They Fight, I was like, man, yes, we got Wendell and we got Andre Roll. Like, we played this movie in Baltimore and D.C. and people, when the minute they saw Andre Roll on that screen, it was like literally people like applauded.
There's also like in a weird way, it almost feels like a continuation of Bubs. I don't want to give any. I don't want to give anything away, like because it's just one scene and it's really powerful, but like. It almost feels like you're looking at Bubs in that moment.
Thank you. It literally feels like Bubs is in the middle of his journey of his character in this movie, right? Coming off of The Wire where he's at, now you feel like you're just catching back up with Bubs. And I love stuff like that, and I feel like also, when I think about like this movie, when I experienced the Cuddy storyline in The Wire,
man,
I never forget. I said this is a movie inside of the Wire universe, so I find it quite interesting that I was able to make a true story of a boxer returned home to do good in the community and do right by the kids. Ain't that crazy?
I mean, it's for those that don't know, Cuddy was basically, it was based on Calvin Ford. Was inspired by the character of Cuddy was supposed to basically be Calvin Ford.
Yep.
You're right. It is very full circle in that way. We felt all of that watching it.
Yep.
Wendell specifically.
Yes, Wendell.
Because I referenced James Earl Jones a minute ago, and I'm not trying to make it. James Earl Jones obviously is, one of one.
Yeah.
But the more I watch Wendell, and particularly in this role, the gravitas, the what he brings to this character, what he brings, take nothing away from Andre, take nothing away from any of the other actors in this film.
Yeah.
But Wendell, to me, brings a gravitas that is very difficult to compare.
Yeah.
And like I know this person.
Yes.
This person is, I'm going to assume someone that I'm obviously not black, so I can't speak to that part of this, but I think everyone knows this uncle, this person in their life, and boy did he command this film to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because of course us as we call it, the black delegation, we appreciate we appreciate you saying that, but at the core of it, we're all American.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's what's so relatable about it. This movie is a love letter to the old rec centers and what those mentors meant to our lives. And Wendell's, he's legendarily, historically known for this performance, Death of a Salesman on stage, right? And I told him he came back to Baltimore and he turned this movie into Death of a Boxing Gym. It's so Willie Loman. It's so like,
wow, I hadn't thought about that.
You know how deep that is, right? And I'm so thankful for him because, once we lost Isaiah and, he wasn't feeling well, his doctor brought him back to New York, you're told, hey, Wendell Pierce is on Elsbeth. He's on a major show. He's high on that call sheet. He's at the very top of that. He's just not available. That's what you immediately hear. Well, fortunately, Jason Berman, my producer, had produced Highest to Lowest, Spike Lee's Denzel Washington movie, and Wendell's in the film. Jason and Wendell had developed a rapport, so where Jason could reach out to Wendell directly, hey, Wendell, this role is perfect for you. Is there a way we can make this happen? And Wendell was like, oh yeah, I got pull on my show. I'm able to go do passion projects and things. And so, so Wendell comes to Baltimore. Here's what's interesting. I always say, Wendell saved the character, but he didn't save my schedule. Because we basically
had to work around.
Him
because he's on this CBS show that you gotta right. It like makes life a little bit more difficult, but you're willing to do for Wendell Pierce. For Wendell Pierce, and it was worth it.
And it was worth every moment of it, And it's just like, but you got an actor on loaner from CBS, and then it's intersected with limited shooting hours with kids. It was the most challenging thing, but I got to tell you, it's the greatest experience I've had in filmmaking.
Man, that's powerful. Yep. I don't know if because I think this is a long clip, but I do want to share one other clip from They Fight. This is again courtesy of Anscape, and you'll see a little bit of the power of Wendell Pierce in this clip as well, who is just one of one, man. Like he is so special, and I'm so glad that he was available for this role. Not that I don't think Isaiah Whitlock, who center play David, everybody knows Isaiah Whitlock's brilliant. Yeah. But Wendell Pierce in this role was perfect. Here, this is courtesy of Anscape.
Oh, you got that easy. We need to put another 24-inch up there. Keep your form. Keep your form. Go. Down and up. I've been asking God to send me my help for a long time. And sure enough, one day, this man right here come walking in. Ain't no coincidence. That's divine intervention. Any of you know what I'm talking about?
It's when when God got bigger plans for you, ain't it, Coach?
Sounding like Marcus Garvey. Yeah. Well, I want y'all to hear what divine intervention sounds like. Coach.
I know it's been a lot of questions going around the gym about me. And, in order to win, can't be no secrets between the fighter and his coach. But y'all go ahead and ask what you want.
Let's pause it, because I think this particular scene is so powerful. I want people to watch it in the context of the film and Walt's speech, which it leads me to another question I wanted to ask you, Sheldon. And I feel like this is unique. There's been a lot over the years that's been made of Black trauma in film, and Walt's story, the Andre Holland character, is obviously built around, I think, some of those familiar concepts of Black trauma. As a filmmaker, as an artist, how do you walk that line of acknowledging this? I don't want to exploit Black trauma. Yeah. I want to tell a story, and that is part of this story, which, again, maybe I'm not the person to judge this because the color of my own skin, but I think you did an incredibly good job of making it part of the story without making it the story.
Yeah, I mean, man, once again, so Glenn, you gotta understand, you're working towards an invite to the cookout, man. You're getting close. You may already be invited.
I can smoke some meats. I'm not gonna be putting raisins. There's gonna be no raisins in potato salad. I promise. I'm not doing that.
Steve's hilarious.
I'm not doing that. I'll smoke some queso, put some steak in there. I can do that.
No, but honestly, I really appreciate that commentary and that insight that you expressed, man, because we know, and we've seen time and time again through the moving image, through movies, this idea at the forefront, the trauma, the pain, this idea of what that is in the Black experience. And then the studio systems and that for eons upon eons led with that. And that was almost like this weird type of way of what the biopic was, the based on the true story, and they're leaning into that. And for me,
it became essentially trauma porn.
Come on, dude.
Like it became like how awful can we make this look to get people to look at it?
Yeah, and I think for me as a cinephile and as a filmmaker who's really dedicated to my own voice as an auteur, I'm not interested in leaning. I never forget one time there was this review of Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, and the reviewer made this statement, well, I can't believe it because there's no depiction of drug use in Do the Right Thing. And Spike Lee's answer was very simply, that's not the movie I'm telling. You know what I mean? Yes, that exists in this neighborhood, but in this story, in this moment, we're not focused on that. And so I feel like we feel at times as Black Americans that these things are always immediately attached to our narratives and to our beings and to our lives. Whereas at the end of the day, yes, Walt had some real struggles. That is very much real. But for me, I'm focused on inspiring kids to go after a dream, right? And that's what the focus needs to be. It needs to be Gladwell's The 10,000 Hours. Hey, if y'all put the work in, like I'm seeing these kids in these gyms doing right now, right? I'm 10 years old. I've been boxing since I was 4. Whether that kid becomes a professional boxer or not, they have learned things in that gym at an early age.
Carry with them
that
forever.
Will carry with them forever, right? And so that's what I think is just so important about this movie and about this idea of the films that we're making, that yes, we're not saying that the trauma doesn't exist, but can we focus on the triumph?
It's so inspiring. Like it's so I legitimately, as I was watching it, I watched it on Saturday morning, and I found myself saying, like, this is beautiful. Like, what a beautiful story this is.
Beautiful, man.
Like that part, and I'm sure that's what drew you to it to begin with the documentary and wanted to tell it.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a beautiful story for people to embrace.
Yes.
And I don't think it's classic sports tropes. I think it's touching on that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's touching on that concept, but exploring the more detail of someone's life within sports that did so well for me.
Yeah.
The love letter part of it, I'm going to make a dumb comparison.
Okay.
When I was 23, I left for a job in Arizona. And I was thriving. I was doing really well. I was just offered mornings in Arizona. Like, dude, radio was great. And I found myself, and it sounded dumb, it said, this is cool, but I wish it was in Baltimore. Like, I wish it felt lesser to me that I wasn't doing it at home. You have obviously had success, but now doing Baltimore Boys a few years ago, which was great, doing this, how much more meaningful is it to you that you're able to do this here, that you're able to tell stories to the world about us, show us? How much even more meaningful? I'm sure you would just want to make a film. I'm sure there's a part of that, but how much more meaningful is it that you get to do it that way?
Well, I grew up watching Barry Levinson movies, and Barry Levinson,
Diner's a love letter to Baltimore. It's a
Diner,
love letter to Baltimore.
Liberty Heights, right?
Yeah.
And so I always joke and say, Barry Levinson is from Liberty Heights. I'm Sheldon from Park Heights. And if you know Baltimore, you know exactly what that means, right? And that's the thing, like just watching Liberty Heights and being like, oh my gosh, this is a filmmaker from my city. And he's telling these really, really wonderful, beautiful, emotional dramas. Like, I want to do that one day, but I want the characters to reflect my neighborhood and the people that I came up under. And so then later to then discover Spike Lee movies, and that be a very strong New York identity in Brooklyn and his neighborhood and his community. And then I believe that it was John Singleton's Boys in the Hood, man.
Wow.
Like, to see Boys in the Hood as a kid and to be like, wait a minute, this place feels like Baltimore to me, but it's in LA. And then the guy who made it is clearly this kid from the neighborhood. It just deeply inspired me, man, to be like, okay, you can be Baltimore's version of that. And when it comes to Barry Levinson and John Waters, just the fact that I can walk in Beyond Video, right? And I can walk in that wonderful, amazing, like, movie rental house, and I can see Barry Levinson films on the shelf, and I can see John Waters films on the shelf, and I see my movies there too. Yeah.
That's powerful,
Come on, man. Come on.
That's powerful.
Shout out to Beyond Video, man.
That's so cool, man. Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now, right? Like you're giving me goosebumps. What when for people that haven't sought out the film, right? I feel like the message is it's a really good film, right? Like that's to me, it's a really good film. Watch it. What do you hope that they're taking away after they watch They Fight?
I mean, I feel like everyone's story matters, right? Everyone's life matters. And I feel like for me, whether you're a 13-year-old boy or girl in a gym, or you're well into your senior years, it's just never too late to go after that dream if you're willing to put the work in. That's the thing that I think is most important, is that anything that you're most passionate about, just go after it. But knowing that it takes the work to do it, and and for me, the same thing as a filmmaker, it has been a very challenging, long road, but I've loved every minute of it. I started off as a production assistant, which is the very bottom of the film industry, and I was an office coffee runner, and I did all of those things, and the whole time I was writing, like I was putting the work in to be a writer director. And it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about me or thinks about the art that I create. I just basically come down to this, and I'm very, very guarded and protected of anyone who is courageous enough to be a creative soul. It's whenever people with nowadays with these phones and technology, everyone's so quick to give their opinion on something, right? And they believe that through social media, their opinion matters. Well, here's the deal. When it comes to any art, when it comes to you on your radio show, I say to those people, 1, can you do it? 2, can you do it better? And 3, if not, please shut up.
I definitively cannot make a better film. Definitively. I cannot do that. I might not even be able to make a better radio show than Sheldon. I definitely cannot make a better film than They Fight. I can say that with certainty. Who gets to be the actual mayor of Park Heights? You or the mayor? Who's the you have the Park Heights? Who's the one that comes out on top from a couple of Park Heights kids that have done well for themselves?
Well, and then don't forget about Ta-Nehisi Coates is from Park
true,
Heights.
Right?
I mean, hey man, Park Heights, man, and it's funny, and I gotta give love to writer D. Watkins, because D is he's proud East Baltimore. And I'm all for it because, while I was up in Park Heights and then also Reservoir Hill as a kid, I was down in East Baltimore with my family as well. And I think that I just love the power of movies. I love this moment for Baltimore. I love this moment for the DMV, too, because while this is a Southeast D.C. story, it was made by the hands of Baltimore folks.
Sure was. It's very much ours. I want to pitch you my idea for writing a movie about Juan Dixon next. I want his story.
Juanie.
I feel like there's a story there that hasn't fully been touched. And he probably would never be uncomfortable with telling it either because he's just like that. But I want to pitch that idea.
Oh, real quick, too, one thing since you brought up Juan Dixon. So there needs to be a Muggsy Bogues statue in this city.
Man, I was just talking to Muggsy a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Why don't we have a Baltimore Athletics Hall of Fame?" And I said, I did. I reached out to Brandon. I said, "Mr. Mayor, what are we doing here?"
Well, because think about it. Rocky Balboa is at the top of those steps in Philly.
He is.
Hey, everyone, just newsflash.
Yeah,
he's not a real person.
Now, wait a second. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Rocky Balboa means more to me than many real people do.
Yo, Adrian. Hey. Yeah, I think Muzzy does need.
Yeah, did you forget that he ended the Cold War, sir? Did you forget that?
Hey,
with respect.
Hey,
the man ended the Cold War.
Hey, Rocky is my all-time favorite movie.
It's
I've seen it
perfection.
hundreds
it's
of
just
times.
Perfection.
I mean, the movie is amazing. So with that being said, think about it. Muggsy Bogues from our city, 5'3", the league's shortest ever player. They said at times with Muggsy on the court, he could completely dominate a game without taking a single shot.
Yep.
He was a lockdown defender. You could not put the ball. You could not get the ball past half court, and then he was a facilitator of the ball. And I just find it just so amazing, like Muggsy Bogues and Coach Bob Wade too is a whole nother thing. The thing that I love, and we're talking about this, and I just want to make sure I say this on the radio waves, that it's not arguably, but it's very similar to the Wire conversation. You kind of have to hold space. But that Dunbar Poets team is the greatest high school basketball team of all time.
No question. No question.
And listen, to be straight, because there's a certain idea in Bristol coming out of ESPN and also coming out of New York City, it's almost like Baltimore is looked as like this sort of kind of little cousin.
We talk about it constantly.
Right. And so when I boldly go into ESPN 30 for 30 and I say, you do realize this is the greatest high school basketball team. Well, I mean, what about, no, here's the deal. You are in fact entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. The facts are 4 NBA players off of 1 high school basketball team,
including maybe the greatest phenomenon in basketball history, including
and then 12 D1 athletes. Once again, not D2, not D3, D1 athletes. This team, my cousin Reg, who played at Southern his freshman year, he brags to me, Sheldon. So I hit that Dunbar team for 20 one night. But Glenn, you know what he said his very next sentence?
And we lost by...
They beat us by 50.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Of course they did. That's what they did to everybody. They ran everybody out of the gym. That's how brilliant they were. It was poetry, man.
Yep.
Sheldon, it's so great to meet you.
You too.
Your story is just, I'm telling you, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I didn't know anything about it.
Thank you.
Griffin told me about it last week. I said, you got me. Like, you got me. And I'm so glad that I spent the time with it because it is just a wonderful, wonderful film. What's next? What's on the...
Man, there are a couple things. Dude, it's like... So there's one story that I've been developing, and it's basically this idea of a guy who comes back to Baltimore. His dad dies, and he's trying to reconnect and patch up and fix his relationship with his mother, but he's also deeply dealing with the grief of losing his father. But his father leaves him one thing that ultimately can help him buy his first house, but it was the one thing that bonded him and his dad. And it's worth a lot of money, and so our character has to decide whether or not he's going to move this family asset. Do you know what the asset is?
I'm trying to think of what this could be. I'm trying to figure out what this could be. I like the idea that what would be... Is it sports memorabilia of some sort?
This is a mic drop on your show.
Yeah.
But yes, it's sports memorabilia. And it's Baltimore-centric sports memorabilia.
Is it a Johnny Unitas-related piece of memorabilia?
No.
Is it a Babe Ruth baseball card?
No.
Oh, man.
And there's a Babe Ruth Baltimore connection, isn't there?
Yeah, he's from Baltimore. Absolutely, yeah. All right.
Do you want a hint?
I do kind of want a hint.
Okay, all right, here we go. But here's the thing, man. I feel like the minute I give you the hint, you're gonna.
I'm gonna know immediately.
Okay, it's Orioles sports memorabilia. One of the most legendary pieces of
Orioles sports memorabilia.
But it's so centric. It's going to take you back to your childhood.
It's going to take me
because it used to drive me crazy trying to find this thing. Was almost like a
This wasn't the Billy Ripken card, was it?
I can't say it on
the
air.
F-face.
The
F-face card.
The F-face card. It's the F-face card.
Oh my God! Is it
Glenn.
really? If you make a movie about the F-face card, I'm going to lose my mind. If
Griffin,
you make a movie
Glenn,
about the F-face card,
it's the F-face card.
I swear to God, I will drive to LA.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah,
I
man.
swear to everything.
Yeah.
That. Oh my God, I'm so in. I need this movie like I need air to breathe. I need this movie like I need air to breathe.
So it's taking something like the legend and the idea
Oh
of
my
how that's
God.
like a. I mean, that thing was like a unicorn,
Yes,
right? To be able to pull
100%.
that out of a baseball pack. And using that as like this linchpin to tell this really deeply emotional story of grief.
Oh, please. I'll invest. I don't have a lot, but I'll invest. I mean, whatever you can get from me, I'm in. I'm in, brother. I need this movie immediately.
Yeah,
oh, my God. I'm so
dude.
excited for that.
My man.
Sheldon, is there anything else we can plug for you? Social media? What?
Hey, look, dude.
Dude,
It is. There, I mean, and dude, can you tell any of your personal stories about that card?
No one believed it was real.
Exactly.
You would, when we were kids, we would hear stories about it, and you would laugh at it, right? Because this is before the internet. Like, that's not a thing. It doesn't even make sense. Like, you can't possibly make sense of the idea that there was a baseball card printed that said F-face on the bottom. It doesn't even register with you. So it became this almost urban legend where you're like, all right, but it's not real because they only put a few of them out, and then they realized it, and they called it back, and they reprinted it without, F-face written on the bottom of the bat. And so then the internet comes along, and you actually see evidence of it, and you're like, holy S, this is real. And then Bill's doing interviews about it and tells the story. And it just becomes so larger than life. The concept that whenever you bring up the name Billy Ripken, the first thing anyone
100%.
else says back is F-face.
100%.
Like, that's it. And so it is iconic. It is your 100%. I should have guessed that first. I don't know why I didn't think of that first. Like, I was trying to think of, like, maybe it was like a game. No, the F-face card is the thing. What is an F-face card worth? This is an actual. Hang on. I want to know right now, if you had an actual card, how much? Over $1,000. We're gonna have to make it a little bit more than that.
Oh no, in the script it is.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a little bit more than that.
It was something like $20K. So you know how Baltimore to my core I am. So then I also at one point, so some of my favorite 30 for 30s were the ones that were sports charging docks, but then they had this overall larger idea, like the two Escobars is my favorite one.
God, that's brilliant.
That one, and then there also was the one that day in sports, right? The
The
OJ Chase.
June,
right?
June 19. What date is it? June 15th, 1994. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So those are like my favorite ones that are doing something else, and so I literally pitched like a dramatic thriller, 30 for 30, the day Cal Ripken's mom got kidnapped.
Oh my God, man, what a story that was!
Remember that?
What a story!
And it
that
has a
was.
positive ending, so
Yeah,
I was
right?
like, "Hey, everybody, don't freak out. It has a
God.
happy ending." But those moments of terror for that family, America's son of baseball, Captain America himself.
It's sort of similar to what we saw with Nancy with Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, recently, which unfortunately does not look like it's going to have a happy ending and appears to be tragic. But that would be. By the way, also, if you just did a 30 for 30 about the F-face card,
dude.
like I feel like that would be that in and of itself, like how that ever became a thing. And I know Bill's told the story a lot, and like just assumed that there's no way that this was.
Dude,
he's like, we'll have fun with it.
And then remember when Brady Anderson became a sex symbol?
Dude, became a sex symbol. How about every young lady that I knew in my life had a poster of Brady Anderson?
The Brady
in her,
Anderson poster.
Like that, it's something no one could understand this today. The women at Perry Hall High School they had the shirtless Brady Anderson poster in
with the bat, right?
100%.
Yes,
100%. They had that everywhere.
I mean, that's the first. I think that's the first time on a human being. I think I saw like an 8-pack.
You're
like
he
was
looking
like
at an alien.
Yeah, he was unreal, and that was amazing. Like at that moment, it was almost like the Goodwill Hunting poster in like girls' rooms in college, or like
100%.
Leonardo DiCaprio, the Titanic poster.
Yep. They all had
Brady Anderson had a moment.
All had it, and it made them watch baseball, which was great news for me because then I could like connect with them about something because I was a nerd. Dude, look at that! Look at that person.
On it.
Look at that person.
Griffin is on it.
That doesn't look like a human being. That looks like who we would send to fight the aliens.
And here's the thing, I feel like for men, I've never been shy of giving a dude his
Oh my
props.
God, are you kidding me?
Like, hey, hey.
Now, this is the funny part, because Brady, of course, said he never used steroids. He said he just hit his athletic opus, and we all laughed about that. But look at that right now. That is the definition of an athletic opus.
Jeez.
Like, that is the definition. The way that dude looks. That is. And every female, every young female.
I love going down this, like,
oh, we can do this show.
nostalgic-
You want to do this show? We can do this show forever. It's so funny. I brought up the mayor. He's on my podcast this week. And we were talking about how we both shared this obsession with Mike Devereaux when we were kids.
Oh, wow.
I was an obsessed Mike Devereaux fan to the point that my poor mother, for Halloween one year, all I wanted to do was be Mike Devereaux. Now, clearly, we don't have to share the same complexion. It was going to require that I had a jersey, but no one was selling a Mike Devereaux jersey.
Yeah.
My mother, like literally made a Mike Devereaux jersey for me that year so that I could be Mike Devereaux for Halloween. And it was my favorite Halloween costume I ever had.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it was a trip. So my all-time favorite is Eddie Murray.
Okay. I mean, that's a very common.
Well, what's interesting though but then some people say, well, wait a minute, why not Frank Robinson? Well, because I grew up watching Eddie.
Makes sense.
I used to go to the games and, like, you know what I mean? It was like he was there. To me, in a weird way, if you're doing kind of these parallels in baseball, he almost was like the Andre Dawson of Baltimore.
Ooh, he was so cool,
right?
Because you had
Dawson and Sandberg
and the like that,
right?
He just looked.
So get this, right? So to me, Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken were like Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy in 48 hours,
yep,
right?
I like
in
that.
baseball uniforms,
and they were legitimately best friends.
Yeah,
like Cal and Eddie were legitimately best friends at that time, which I think added to that.
Yeah.
We were doing that my top 5 of like. So, like, I can't talk about Brooks Robinson, the baseball player. I know Brooks Robinson, the figure. I got to know him very well later on in life, and I know what he means to my father. I know that we talk about Brooks Robinson, my father's going to cry, right? Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Mike Devereaux.
Yep.
It's Cal Ripken.
Yep.
It's honestly, it's Brady. Like, the 50 home run season was just magic.
Yes.
And then just because they were guys that I got to know better recently, like Adam Jones and Cedric Mullins, were and I also have a thing for center fielders. Like in baseball, I was an obsessed Kenny Lofton fan, even though he didn't play for the Orioles.
Love Kenny Lofton.
Just because you would see them do things.
Dude, Adam Jones is such a cool dude. Just a nice,
just the best
dude,
human
man.
being that you could ever possibly have. He's impossible.
Yeah.
We joke about the time. He and I got into a fight once. We got into the opening day 2012 before we knew the Orioles were going to be any good. He was pissed off about something. He gave an answer, and I dunked on him about it on the radio. And he heard, like, somebody said, you should hear this idiot going after you on the radio. And he reached out to me, and it was like, oh my God. And we agreed we were going to go down and meet at Frank and Nick's and, like, deal with it. Like, and I was like, am I going to fight Adam Jones?
Oh, gosh.
Like, that's not a good idea.
At all.
That's a terrible idea.
all.
What a bad idea that would be. And instead, we just started talking, and I was like,
Thanks, man.
You're the best human being of all time.
He really is, man.
As it turns out,
Yeah.
and he was just like, hey, man, I was having a bad day. I gave a bad answer. Like, I mean, it was just, it just turned out to be one of my favorite human beings that I've ever come across in the history of being in this town. And so, God bless Adam Jones. We should build a statue of him somewhere just for being the guy he is.
It's funny. Like, I'm so going down. So did you know that for the longest, now going back to Sylvester Stallone, his passion project that he never got to make, one of them, is Edgar Allan Poe.
Really?
And you imagine how cool that would be?
You know what's really crazy?
They
Like,
kind of feel like they're in the same family tree.
There's a lot of that there. I had no idea.
Yeah, man. He wanted to make an Edgar Allan Poe movie.
There's always still time. There's still a little, I don't know, somebody who would play Poe at this point, but, like, there's still a little bit of time
I
there.
always say...
I will totally, that I Am Stallone thing they're doing, like, they're doing a movie.
I play Rocky.
I play Rocky.
Rocky.
That's exactly what it is. I will watch that.
100%.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Dude, I know, I know we share this.
What?
When the first Creed movie came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I had that, like, skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
I pretend like Rocky V never happened,
Mm-hmm.
even though I actually ended up becoming good friends with Tommy Morrison later on in life, and we talked. Yeah, it's
That's
very
so
random.
random.
It's so random, dude.
Wow.
I moved to Phoenix for a little while. He
Okay,
lived there.
There
We
go.
connected.
Okay.
And we just nerded out about, like, his Sylvester Stallone stories.
You tell me I ain't no bill.
100%. So when the first Creed movie came out, I was now even Rocky Balboa was very good. It was very good. But when the first Creed movie came out, I'm like, I don't know. And when they get to the scene where he opens up the trunks,
Yes.
I'm crying.
Yeah, dude.
I'm crying
Yeah.
in the movie theater. I am weeping.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe. Now, God bless Ryan Coogler. He's,
Yeah. Hey.
effing genius.
Yes.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ. We need to protect that man at all costs.
Yes, we do.
Like, holy hell, everything he does is brilliant.
So one of the last things that I want to leave with you
Yeah.
and leave with Baltimore, and this is a pitch I have to the Ravens.
Okay.
All right. So watch what I do here. I'm putting this out there. I feel like we need a character that appears every Ravens home game. Top of the fourth quarter, he just appears in one of the tunnels. It's Old Man Poe coming to haunt the opposing team.
I love this.
Don't you love it,
I
Glenn?
love this.
Is this not amazing?
I love this.
And he literally
Wait,
appears anywhere
now,
in the stadium.
Now, can we combine it with the Omar whistle?
Yes.
Does the two things work together?
Yes.
I think they could work together. I think you could have the whistle, and then you don't know where he's coming from, and you're like, everybody's looking around the
Yes.
stadium, and all of a sudden, there he is. There's Old Man
Yeah.
Poe haunting you.
Yeah, he literally just comes out and he gives a scowl. And he just walks on.
I think this is brilliant.
Isn't that
I think
brilliant?
this is brilliant. I'm gonna reach out to Brad. I'm gonna have a conversation with Jay O'Brien about this. This makes a lot of sense. Sheldon, it's so great to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you
I love
too,
the
man.
film.
Thank you,
It's
man.
wonderful. I'm so glad we got to chat with you about
Me
it.
too.
And blessings to you. Continue great success.
And Griffin, thank you, man. You
you.
are the
Thanks for coming in.
conduit, dude. Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing me to
Yeah.
this moment.
He suggested it. He was like, "What?" He started with he started with Wendell Pierce and Andre Roy, and I was like, "You have my attention. You have my attention." I'm going to tell you, most likely it's going to be a yes. And then from there, it just got better.
Thank you.
Sheldon Candis, thank you, brother.
Thanks,
We'll take a break.
guys.
We'll come
All
back
right,
in and
brother.
wrap things up.